Redesigned and Spacious. This is Phanteks ECLIPSE G400A, the successor to the P400A. We have quite cool design when we're talking about just visual aspect a bit, but we have an LED strip over here. We have four 140mm fans. We have dedicated space at top for the 360 radiator. You have possibility to place three 120 fans here on the power supply shroud, and quite open and ventilated power supply shroud altogether. The case looks outstanding as the past model did, but this one just looks just a bit better, and altogether it's an outstanding case. So let's deep dive into it and talk about everything we have right here, because this isn't the only Phanteks product I have on the table. These are M25120 G2 DRGB. They're already pre-connected. You have two screws holding them here together and on the other side, and the cool thing is they already have pre-routed cables at the back, so you just have to use their proprietary cable, unfortunately, and reconnect everything, which is quite easy actually when you think about it. Then next in line we have their new power supply. This is Phanteks Amp GH 1000 watts, 80 plus platinum, ATX 3.1, and support for PCIe Gen 5.1 as well. And finally, what we have is Phanteks Glacier 1 360 M25 G2 right at the top. As you can see, it has a completely redesigned pump block top. It has the same fans, and this is what I was talking about constantly when we're doing loads of different builds and reviews and everything all together in general. The case has the same fans as the AAO, and the other fans are also the same design, except they're reverted. So these are actually reversed on the power supply shroud. So you basically have all the same fans, which kind of goes into unifying the whole design and everything all together. And this is what I constantly repeat in each review, where the scenario is a bit different, where the AAO has one type of fans and the case has another type of fans, and then you come by any of those fans, you have to go with third ones. And yeah, I mean, why not unify them? It's simple for production. It's simple for having a satisfied customer, having a quite nice unified build, which I think 99% of the buyers are actually aiming for. So what does this case have? As I stated, it has fully ventilated power supply shroud from the front on the both sides, and the front and the front side is also nicely ventilated without a doubt. So what you get here is, let's start from the beginning, of course. So we have four M25 140 Gen 2 DRGB fans included, so three on front, one at the rear. Of course, you can place 120 at the rear as well, but I don't think there's any need to change this one. Dedicated support for the 360 radiator on top. The front intake has a dust filter, and I'm not saying it when we compare it to the perforated steel like here on the side. This front mesh panel is actually too wide to block the dust, so they need to place a dust filter in front, which is quite alright. And the cool thing about the front panel is you can remove it quite easy. It's magnetically attached. It has two hinges on the front bottom part. They hold the front panel, they hold the dust filter, and then you remove, again, I think it's crocodile clips, but they're easy crocodile clips. They're holding enough, but you can remove it by hand. You have some sort of a designed area that kind of focuses air through the fans and doesn't have any air loss on the side part of the chassis. The ultra fine performance mesh. Now, this one exists. It's on the top, which is easy removable, and on the side when we're talking about the power supply shroud. For the fan options, we have possibility to place three 120 or two 140 at the top, one 140, one 120 at the rear, three 140 at the front, and I don't see any other solution for the front, but honestly, if you have three 140 at the front, why would you even change? And three 120 on the power supply shroud. When we're talking about radiators, now we have a possibility to place 360 at the top or 280 and 120 at the rear. On front, unfortunately, there is no possibility because, well, basically you have this cutout here that they actually sacrifice the front 360 for placing the 120 on the power supply shroud, which is good. If you're going with a 360 at the top, you don't need a radiator at the front, and you get better intake because you have 6 as an intake and 4 as an exhaust. which is outstanding. It has support up to E80X motherboard, which is up to 280 millimeters wide, 7 expansion slots at the back. It has a support for vertical GPU, but you do need to buy a riser cable separately. Internal 2.5-inch base, you have 2 of those plus one 3.5-inch hard drive. Or if you decide to go only with 3.5-inch hard drives, then you can go only with 2 of those. On the front I/O panel, we have USB 3.0, one USB Type-C 3.0 Gen 2, a microphone and headphone combo jack, so 3.5mm 4-pole, reset button, power button with the LED circle around it. For the CPU cooler height, we can go up to 184mm, so this is insane for such a, let's say, proper MIDI tower. Going with 184, that's brilliant. GPU up to 415mm, GPU wide 184mm, power supply up to 270. Now, before we go at the back and talk about cable management and all the other stuff, one thing that is kind of cool, and it, it goes into 2 different segments. You can either go with 3 120mm fans, and you can reroute the cable for the GPU here at the bottom right beneath the GPU, beneath the motherboard. And if you don't go with 3 120, for instance, you have an opening here right beneath the GPU port, the GPU connection, and you can make a nice waterfall effect for the cables running directly to the power supply shroud and rerouting them as such. All in all, I think this is a beautiful case when we take this segment into consideration. The airflow is outstanding, and I have literally nothing against this front panel. This front side, it's really outstanding, digging the whole design. And you can even remove this side panel because you have one screw here, so you can access the bottom compartment of the chassis. And of course the LED can be also removed with 2 screws that are one on each side. Access quite easy. The good thing about everything that is pre-assembled in the chassis, it's already pre-connected as well. So you don't have to fiddle around trying to find the cable for the LED or trying to find the cable for the fans, front, back, whatever. Everything is pre-connected. And since I'm at that point, since I already mentioned a couple of times prior to this build right here and this case, the cable management at the back is good. It's already pre-assembled, it's already nicely placed. You just have to pick the right cable to connect it. I don't know, USB 3.0, HD audio, front panel jack, PWM for the fans, adjustable RGB for the RGB of the pre-installed fans and the LED strip. But everything is nicely tidy placed at the back, so you don't have to, take 10-15 minutes to reorganize like I did for some other cases that I mentioned prior to this video. So that's really good. Now, when we go at the back, you can really go crazy with cable management, quite nice and tidy. And this is the first time actually I received in the accessory box. I think there's like 15 to 20 zip ties. You can, as I said, really go mental with cable management and tie up those cables outstandingly nice. And the case altogether is well thought through. You can even remove the top panel, but unfortunately for removing the top panel, you have to remove 2 screws at the front, 2 screws here, no, 3 screws here on the side, 3 screws here at the back, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws here on the other side. The only problem with that, because you honestly don't have to remove the top panel, the case kind of loses the integrity of a fixture, or it gets a bit of wobbly, let's put it this way, because this is holding the whole chassis a bit. So unless you really don't have to remove it, I would just suggest you don't. This isn't a failure of the chassis. I'm just, again, giving you heads up, just so you know. So yeah, nothing drastic. This is just some idea to give you insights about the case, about the build and everything all together. Honestly, I would just put rivets and just limit the possibility to remove this top panel because it's holding the whole chassis together. And yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Now, I can talk for hours what specifically this case is good at, and the design and the airflow and how it goes, but you can already notice that, so I don't have to go too much into details. But I do have to mention benchmarks. So I have here MSI MPG X870E Carbon Wi-Fi paired up with AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D with MSI GeForce RTX 4080 Super Gaming X Slim. In AIDA 64 Extreme Edition System Stability Test, CPU went up to 68 degrees with a clock speed at 4847 MHz. Quite solid for this CPU in this benchmark. GPU went up to 66, so I think that's the lowest that you could get this GPU. Maybe, if I remember, 65 eventually, but I think 66 is quite solid. This GPU runs outstandingly good at that thermal, so you don't have to worry about that. And then we go to Cinebench R23. What we get is 88. It starts at 88, but it kind of keeps it at 87 throughout whole 10 test runs. And the clock speed on average is somewhere around 50,127. The scores are actually really good, starting at 21,602. Then it drops. I don't know for what reason, because after that drop, it's constantly holding and even going higher, reaching 21,724. In general, that's an outstanding score, at least for my chip, because I saw some guys getting higher and everything altogether. So yeah, I think this is quite good. This is quite good. Outstanding cooling without a doubt. And I'm digging the unifying process of the fans, and they all have a mirror effect in the middle. They have full fans, full blades also lighting up. So for you guys that want the middle part to light up, you get the fans to light up as well. It's, I think, win-win situation for everybody regarding the fans. The case, you'll also enjoy it because it's really nicely airflowish, let's put it this way. So yeah, I think I can go with PC Crazy approved badge, not because of the chassis, only because of the chassis, but the whole combination. Because of the fans, because of these triple fans here, because of the fans in general, unifying it. The AIO does an outstanding job, fits perfectly inside the case. And in general, when we take into consideration how the case is designed and how you get more space specifically for the CPU tower cooler, in the P400A, we didn't get such high CPU tower cooler clearance. GPU is, I think, somewhere the same, but all in all, yeah, I'm quite satisfied with this case. And this case is actually really quite easy to build in, really straightforward. There's no fuss about it. So yeah, guys, this was it from the Phanteks ECLIPSE G400A. Quite nicely ventilated chassis. And when you pair up everything all together, it looks quite nice all together as well. So we had the Phanteks ECLIPSE G400A, we had Phanteks M25-120 G2 that are right here on the power supply shroud. Then we had the Phanteks Glacier 1 360 M25 G2 and Phanteks Amp GH 1000 watts power supply, 80 plus platinum. Altogether, quite nice combination. I'll place the links because I do really like it, and I do really recommend for you guys that are trying to go with a standard MIDI tower, try to most likely save some cash, because this is a great deal as well. This is nice, subtle, clean, minimalistic. Everything is just as it is. So yeah, the links for everything is in the description below. You can check it out. And if this gave you some idea for a future build or anything similar to that, you can always subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell. And hopefully, because of that notification bell, I'll see you in another video quite shortly, because, well, we have more stuff coming up. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.